sure what tomatoes you're looking for, like Roma tomatoes. You're looking for large tomatoes, so I wasn't sure what kind. Get back to me when you can. I'll put it on there anyway, but if you need to get another brand of tomato, just let me know, okay? Okay, love you, bye.
Alana.
Yes. Hello.
It has been a very, very interesting week.
Yes, but in a good way, would you say? Well,
I would agree with that.
yeah, in some ways, yeah.
It has been a very bizarre year overall.
Oh, absolutely.
And today is March 12th.
Yes.
When we're doing this.
Yeah, which was a year ago today. That was when the lockdown started.
Correct.
It was very, very strange.
If you remember,
Yeah.
that day, we met at Starbucks in Pioneer Square, hung out for a while. Then you and I went over to Bloodworks Live, which is a music venue that a couple radio stations in town, I don't know if they're still going to do it, but at the time they were running it. And it was looking like it was going to go for a long while after that.
Yeah.
We get inside. They're offering people pizza, but we don't really grab any.
And they're offering people 7-Up.
Yes. We did take one and we split it.
Yeah.
Sat down and saw Peyton Smith perform live.
Really good.
And
really
he
good.
seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he was quite young, but he didn't seem like the quintessential 20-year-old.
Right. So that happened. It was a great performance. It was also happened to be the last live concert that either of us saw.
Right.
You go home. I walk back to my place. That was really the last time I've been downtown as well.
Yeah. Oh, I just wonder how much it's changed because of all the vandalism in Pioneer Square and federal buildings being broken into and fires. And I mean, I would imagine it's going to be a while before downtown is going to, start over again. Would you say?
That's a strong possibility. Although on the news, they're saying that the signs are good that it's starting to get back to normal.
Because a normal downtown?
Yes.
Because, I mean, I would imagine that it's going to cost a lot for the city to fix it.
Yes. But in any event.
But I'm looking forward to
yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself a little bit.
I know.
I get home, and we should say that for anybody listening to this way into the future, the coronavirus had been in the news, especially the few days leading up to this. But I wasn't really thinking that things were going to shut down the way they did.
None of us was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, the night before, my sister texted me because I was supposed to watch her place a couple weeks later. And she said that she was canceling her trip because of all the concerns.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, March 12th last year, I'm hanging out at home after the events and not really thinking about it. And then I just see things are starting to really shut down. So I click into the local news. Kate Brown, our governor, had started encouraging people to stay home that weekend. And I believe the mandates that locked us down came out the following week.
I think you're right.
Yeah, like that Tuesday.
It didn't. So yeah, because things just started to come to a head the end of that week, and then I think it's when it really started on Monday.
You and I were supposed to get together on the 15th, which was a Sunday.
Yeah, so you're supposed to go to the library?
I believe so. Yeah. And that event got canceled.
Right.
Because of the lockdowns.
Right. It was crazy.
So I basically spent from the night of the 12th until the afternoon of the 15th inside, glued to the news like everybody else was.
Yeah.
That afternoon, I met up with a friend of mine at this place called the Double Barrel, which is a bar in town, because things were encouraged to close, but it wasn't a mandate yet.
Not everything was, yeah.
And nobody was wearing masks. It was only like 10 people in the bar, including the bartender. come home, and like the next day was announced we're completely shutting down.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was so odd. And then the days following and the weeks following, it was very strange because if I had to go somewhere, I would sit outside for a bit, but when this all started, it seemed like my street was deserted. Like no cars, no people outside. People were cooped up in their houses. It was very weird.
Each day felt like a couple of weeks.
It did.
Especially for that first month.
Yeah, and then April came along. I had a birthday that month, and it seemed like the longest April I ever spent.
We were actually supposed to get together on your birthday because I was watching my nephew at the time while my sister would go to work.
Right.
But she had found other arrangements because she was considered an essential worker at the time. So we didn't get to do that.
Yeah.
In retrospect, if I had anything to do differently, I would have had us do this over the phone, like right after the pandemic started, like once a week.
Yeah.
Just so we get more of a perspective of what was going on then.
Yeah, it's okay though.
But you live and you learn.
Well, yeah, and then I mean it was very strange because while you were going through your stuff during this time, I was living with roommates, and it was very strange because everybody was socially, not social, physically away from each other, a good distance away. And it felt like nobody was home. People were home, but I didn't know when they came in and out unless I was like in the living quarters. But it was very, very strange to me. It was very weird.
It was also very hard to get groceries.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The first couple of months were just strange, and I got really, really depressed during this time. And that kind of flared up again during the fall because my sister moved and my grandfather died within a day of each other. And then I think the wildfires started.
Oh, yeah.
That weekend, but they went on for a couple weeks. So this fall I was like, and then your mom came to town. that didn't cause...
That was in October. That didn't
right, but I'm just saying, these things kind of bled into each other, right?
Well,
because we couldn't hang out the way that we normally did.
And during that time, I know I'm kind of going back a little bit, but I was surprised that this was even going to happen because of all the restrictions and people not being around each other. But I was able to get an apartment towards the end of May. Right. Which I thought, whoa, that never I never thought it was going to happen, but I guess it was the appointed time for that to happen because I was searching for a long time, and now it just came to a head, and I finally got this place.
So I'm somebody who suffers from depression, and normally I can keep it under control because I'm out doing things and pretty active. But the coronavirus has been very challenging for that. And I had the first wave of depression when it started that lasted from mid-March until late May. And then the second wave from September until early December. It was very tough. I remember Jamie Lee Curtis, I want to say in late April, started doing these movie nights online.
Oh,
through Lionsgate.
Oh, right.
You and I watched La La Land and Dirty Dancing.
That was really hard to do.
But I also watched the other two films that she showed, which were The Hunger Games and John Wick. If I'm remembering correctly.
You said you liked John Wick.
Yeah. But if The Hunger Games was the first film that they showed that she hosted. And by this time, I had been pretty much inside by myself for a month, besides for a couple times over at my sister's house to help out with my nephew.
Right.
So she starts saying the speech about how, it's great that we're social distancing, and we know it's hard for everybody. And I almost lost it right then when she said that. I almost started to cry.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think, too, for me, because I don't have a lot of friends here in Portland. I have a few, but, a lot of them are cooped up in their houses or they don't talk to me regularly. And then a lot of my friends are out of state, either out of state or in another, somewhere in the Northwest.
I'm fortunate enough that I know a lot of people, both here and in different states.
Yeah. I have I have some friends in Washington, but we haven't kept in contact, and if we do, it's like over email sometimes because I don't know how their schedule is, and I've been trying to keep track of what's going on with my friends in Hawaii because they're going through that too, and I think it's been hard for me when it comes to my female friends. That's been hard for me because a lot of them are out of state. It's tough. And yeah, I don't know.
One of the good things for me that came out of this was starting to do weekly conference calls with my friends. Mm-hmm. Like, it started out, it was going to be bi-weekly, and then just sort of over the summer, it took off.
Mm-hmm. That's really good.
And that's been really cool. But it's not the same as actually seeing people in person and getting a chance to really, really hang out with them.
It doesn't take the place of real relationships. We don't realize how valuable these relationships are until we're temporarily away from these people.
I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I will anyway. Because I stick my foot in my mouth.
Yes, you do. A lot.
Over the summer here in Portland, we had the Black Lives Matter protests. And full disclosure, I believe that there needs to be police reform, and I also see the need for demonstrations. But I was very upset at the protesters because if you weren't going out to a demonstration, you had to stay inside. And to me, it seemed a little bit hypocritical that you could be in a large crowd with people if you're protesting the police.
Oh, I was
but
really
yet I
upset.
can't go to an outdoor concert.
I was really upset about that too because I'm like, well, what made them so special that they had to go out there, protest, commit all this chaos, and also too, they didn't have to physically distance themselves from people, and they weren't wearing masks.
And whenever you would ask anybody about this on the left, you would always get these weird answers. Well, I don't know. I'm sure they're doing something right, and I know that it doesn't make sense, but you got to really look into the science of it. So
that doesn't make sense at all.
That really got to me this summer.
I totally am on the same page with you, and I know normally politically we're not, but in this case I would completely agree with you, and I just think that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So
also,
yes,
the CDC, I believe, was saying at the time COVID-19 affects black people more for whatever reason.
I thought it was ridiculous.
So the weird thing is you're telling black people and their allies that you can gather, but you're also saying, oh, this disease kills black people disproportionately.
I just think that they were just trying to make this as politically woke as possible. And I think there was a county in Oregon, I couldn't remember what it was. Lincoln County, yes. Lincoln County was saying that we're exempting black people from not wearing masks.
When you told me that,
I was so upset.
I thought for sure that you were joking, and you said look into it, and I did. Now they eventually reversed course with that, but you were correct that they did release something on the Lincoln County official website saying that they weren't going to require that of black people.
And there was somebody that was, I forgot who it was, but somebody, I think it was someone in Congress, was saying you can't do that.
Especially since the disease kills black people at a higher rate. It's like you're trying to seem woke, but you're, in the course of doing that, you're doing something that harms the group you're pretending to care about.
Well, even if it did, and I'm not saying it doesn't, but even if it did affect black people a lot more than other brown people or white people, you're basically you're putting people in separate groups, and you're saying, okay, well, these people are exempt because they're minorities. and because you are not like them and you haven't experienced what they've experienced, you have to make up for that. And I was very upset. I just like, this is ridiculous.
Right. But it was one of those things to where I disagreed with the protests because of what we just said. Mm-hmm. But in normal times, I would be out there protesting. And I do agree with the cause, even though I think defunding the police is a step too far for me. I do see the need for massive police reform. So it's just been a very confusing year on a lot of different levels.
It's been very confusing. Absolutely.
Now, having said all that, there's some signs that things might be getting better.
I really hope that this is true and the powers that be don't backtrack on it, because I'm sure that there's a lot of Americans, the majority of Americans are really sick and tired of this.
No. They're not going to be able to backtrack on it.
How do you know?
They've made such a big deal about it.
They've done it before.
But they made such a big deal about it that now we're making progress that it would be very difficult. And the powers that be are also big companies who are noticing that people aren't really spending a lot of money right now, right? So they have a vested interest in getting us out there. So I'll give you a quick example. Last night I was watching Biden's speech through TYT. And what?
I don't know how you were able to go. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I did. It was only a half hour.
I don't know how you're able to get through that, but okay, go on.
Look, I'm not a Joe Biden fan. You know that.
I know.
But on the coronavirus, he's been doing a very good job.
I don't think so.
We take it issue to issue. Now, if you're going to ask me to defend him on Hunter Biden or a few other things, I can't do that. But on this issue, I think he's doing surprisingly well. Anyway,
I don't think he is, but go on.
Okay.
I mean, we have our opinions, but go on and tell me what.
At one point during the speech, he says, we think that there's enough supply to where anybody who wants a vaccine should be able to get on the list by May 1st. Mm-hmm. And he says, if we all do this, then by July 4th, you should be able to gather in a small crowd with your friends. So Cenk and Anna, who run the Young Turks, after the speech, they both said, well, that's great, but if you're vaccinated, why do we have to be limited to small crowds?
Exactly.
And Cenk was making the point of, my dad just got his second vaccination and he's 83, and he says, it's because of things like this that he's afraid to hug my kids and be around them. And he's like, but he's already vaccinated. And he's like, sometimes the CDC, sometimes government officials take it too far and pretend that you're not safe when you actually are. He says that doesn't mean, go to a COVID party or whatever.
I don't know.
But you can be reasonably safe and still get out there if you've been vaccinated. So I'm telling you that because even on the left, they're starting to be pushed back against the idea of, you can't do anything even though you've been vaccinated.
I know, exactly. And I think that because a lot of people have been so scared, right? You would agree that on there are some people on the left that have completely scared people into wanting to do anything even after they're vaccinated. Would you say that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But
hold on, I wasn't finished with my thought
ahead.
Because I heard you talk for a little bit. But what I was going to say is they've been so scared that it is no wonder that they don't want to go out and hug their family because they're afraid, well, what if they tell me no again?
It's this huge pendulum, though, because the right wing, it feels to me, has not been taking COVID seriously at all.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion, but I don't believe that. I think they've been thinking of COVID differently than the left has, but that doesn't necessarily mean they haven't been taking it seriously. I think that the difference is that the right wants people to have choices, but the left has been scaring people and making people so afraid to go out and do anything that they no longer have a choice.
No, you got to find a happy medium. Babes.
There is no happy medium.
There is. Here's a happy medium. You get vaccinated and then you start to live your life after isolating for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. The left doesn't want to give people the choice of not getting vaccinated because they think that if everybody's vaccinated, everything's going to be fine. But there are people that are not going to get vaccinated because of how they feel, how uncertain, the uncertainty of what's actually in the vaccine. And I would want you to look into the ingredients like I've asked you.
Let's just say that I am excited to get vaccinated and you are very much against it.
I'm not going to stop you from it, but I'm not going to sit back and not tell you how I feel about it. In the end, I can't stop you from taking it. I'd like you to reconsider, but don't say I never warned you about it, because there are some very, there is some stuff that I've been hearing that are in these vaccines that you wouldn't want in your body. So, and you're also not a part of the higher, you're also not higher at a higher risk either.
Yes, but people my age and younger have died from COVID-19.
But they haven't taken into an account that the reason why they may have died was because of other conditions. Some of them may have been diabetic, some of them may have had some heart problems, but they don't take into an effect that the numbers of deaths via COVID are actually a lot smaller than they think, and they're making them sound bigger because people to make people really want to run out and get vaccines, and then they think that if I do this, then it's all going to be better. But
the other factor, babes, beyond being somewhat concerned for my health, not overly, but a little bit, is that I want to go out and live life again. And if taking a shot means that I get to do it a little bit quicker, then shoot me up.
Yeah, but just because you take a shot, that doesn't mean you're helping yourself either. I'm just saying, I am not going to get a shot because I don't know what stuff is in it. And I don't think I should be penalized just because I decided that I didn't want to get vaccinated.
I think it's a personal choice.
And that's what I mean.
What I would say is it looks like society will open up quicker the more people who get the vaccine. So if I can move that process along for my own sake, I'm going to do it. But also it makes the people around me feel safer.
I personally think that if you get the virus, number one, most likely you're not going to die from it. Number two, there are therapeutics out there. So if you do get it, you can take them. And once you are able to, get better from the virus, then your body builds up antibodies so that you are now immune to the virus, so you don't get it. But if you get it, it's just like any other virus.
People have caught it more than once, though.
But even so, it's just like any other virus. You get a virus, you take what's needed to combat the virus, and then you build up more antibodies so that you don't get it again. And if you do get it again, you know what to do. So and sometimes your body has to get sick in order for it to get well. So that's where I stand on it. I'm not going to get a vaccine because of it, and I don't think I need one.
I'm just excited.
But I am excited
that we may have a summer.
It looks like our summer may be better than the last one.
Yes. I don't think it's going to be like 2019.
No.
Right, so I don't think I'm going to go to a lot of live music events this year, even though that's normally what I do during the summer.
Yes.
But I think that it's going to be something, and people are going to be so grateful to have anything this year that's not just people burning down downtown Portland.
I know.
That I think the city is going to be filled with a lot of happy people this summer.
I hope. I really am thinking optimistically about this, because I am very much an optimist. And even if I am able to just as much as go walking in the park with you and feel the nice summer air and the sun on my skin, and going to a restaurant, even if there's not a lot of people in there, I would be happy. We're
already starting to see signs of it just beyond Joe Biden's speech, because Multnomah County, where we live, was just moved to the moderate.
Which is really good.
I think we were at high risk before, but now we're at moderate. And we're staying here for at least a month. Mm-hmm. And the reason Kate Brown has said that is so that in case we had to go back to high risk, the restaurants would have a time to know that. Because they release their findings every 2 weeks here.
I think fewer and fewer counties in Oregon are moving from extreme risk to at least high and close to moderate.
But I think in April, we could go to low risk in Multnomah County.
Well, that'd be good. Maybe I'll actually have a nice birthday after a while.
Well, you'll have one if you're with me, babes.
Oh, I know I will. Of course
Yes,
I will.
Yes.
Yes.
I think they're going to start requiring people to have the vaccine if you want to go on trains, which will be good for me because it means that I'm for sure spending Christmas here with my Jaylo.
Oh my goodness.
But it's bad for you.
Well, I think that's something I'll have to sacrifice as much as I don't want to do that, but no one can make me put something in my body that I don't even know what's in it. I just don't think it's necessary for me to take it.
You got an order from Walmart.
I did.
And you came inside.
Yes.
I was playing with Clubhouse, and we're going to get to that in a little while.
Okay.
But there was beef, and you said something to the effect of, I eat beef at least once a week. And
I don't count, like, leftover stuff.
But you don't know the chemicals that are in that meat.
Yeah, but this is different than food.
You're putting...
Hold on. This is different than food. Yes, I know that I'm taking a risk by eating anything really, but it's different than that where you're injecting things straight into your bloodstream, and you don't know. You could probably find the ingredients online, but this is different because it's supposed to ward you off of the virus. It's supposed to ward the virus off so that you don't. And if you get it, it's going to make sure that you don't have it as badly. But I'm not talking about food.
Don't you get health benefits from that beef? That's what you were telling me.
Yes, but I'm not. This. I think that comparing it to food is completely different. I think it's apples and oranges.
Of course.
It's like apples and oranges.
Oh.
You cannot. Foods are different than foreign vaccines that you're putting into your veins. I just don't. I don't see the similarities.
Well, I'll miss you, babes, when I'm going skiing and.
All right, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know that. You're just speculating. Remember.
I think some venues have said they're not going to let people inside unless. Why did you hit me with that pillow?
Because I could.
Unless you have the vaccine, so.
Well, then they're not going to get my business, I guess.
All right, well, I'll see a lot of music probably next summer.
I think by next summer things should be more open, but I think that forcing people to get vaccines is completely absurd.
Well, I'm happy.
And that's exactly what fear-mongering is, Bubs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are some procedures that women are forced to take, and they don't need to take them.
I'm curious about something.
What?
Let's say, I know this isn't going to happen, but Donald Trump goes on Fox News and Newsmax tomorrow and says, you know what? Joe Biden is a horrible person, but I've been doing some research on my own, and I actually think he's right about taking the vaccine. It pains me to say this, but I want all of my fans to get vaccinated.
I don't believe that would happen.
But let's say it did. Let's say it did.
I don't believe that would happen, and if he actually did say it, I still wouldn't take it.
Really?
No, I wouldn't take it because... And because I've listened to so many Trump speeches, and I know how he talks. I know how he feels about things like that.
Right, he thinks that you said like.
Hold on. Let me. No, that was taken out of context.
Go ahead,
Come on.
Stop.
I haven't done it yet. Okay. Stop it.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Well, even if it was him saying it, yes. Even if it was...
Your leader. Go ahead. Let's keep talking. Or do we want to go tickling? All right, keep talking. Even if it was him.
And I'm sorry if I hurt you if I can't.
You did. Keep going.
I'm sorry, Bubs.
That's good.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But even it doesn't matter who it was. I still wouldn't take it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter, and I don't believe any of my mom. I don't think my mom would force.
No, she's super conservative. She's not taking that.
Of course not. No, it wouldn't matter who it was. I still wouldn't take it.
Even Trump.
Of course not.
Wow.
That would be absurd, and he would.
I know he would, but I'm saying.
No, he would not say that.
I know he would not say. I'm saying if something bizarre happened and he ended up saying that.
No, I would not. It doesn't matter who was in Congress. It doesn't matter if it's the House or the Senate. People. If anybody, it doesn't matter if somebody told me that. Well, you have to take the vaccine or I'm going to die. I wouldn't do it.
So if Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene both came out.
No.
Wow.
No, I'm serious. If any, it doesn't matter who it was. It doesn't matter if it was the most conservative. It doesn't matter if, it doesn't matter who it was. I still wouldn't take it.
But you're not a Marjorie Taylor Greene fan, so that's.
Yeah, I like her.
Oh my God! I thought even you said she sounded.
No. You misunderstood me because you misunderstand me a lot. I may not agree with some of the things she said, and people say some weird things too.
She called somebody Mussolini the other day. I'm not joking. Stop. You know that she called somebody Mussolini.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. Just let me talk for a minute.
Go ahead.
I don't care if she called someone Mussolini. I never heard that, but of course the left will try to paint her as this villain, but who cares?
Hitler was right. She has said that before. She has said that before.
Okay, would you let me talk?
Go ahead.
Ow. Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Sorry. I think that people have the right to say what they want to say, because as far as I'm concerned, it's still a free country. I may not agree with everything she says, but what I do like about her is that she's willing to stand up for what she believes in as far as her values. Now, there may be some things that other conservatives have said that I may not agreed with, but they have a right to say it.
Let me ask you this.
Oh, can we get off of it, please?
If Marjorie Taylor...
Can we get off of it?
We will eventually.
Please.
If she announced...
Please.
Yes, soon.
Now.
I just have a question. Now?
Yes.
Can I get a kiss?
No.
Why not?
No, you're being bad boy.
I'm being good boy. No. Can I ask you one Marjorie Taylor Greene question? If she announced...
No.
Hold on. Can I ask one, babes?
No.
Come on. You're shutting down my speech, babes. If she announced that she was running for president tomorrow, and Donald Trump said he's not going to run, would you vote for Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well, it depends on what her policy is. Maybe I would.
But you wouldn't automatically vote for her.
Well, I would have to know what her policies are.
What if her policies are, we're going to harass survivors of high school shootings.
Ow.
We're going to support harassing those people. We are going to bring the Confederate flag to every schoolroom.
Okay, first off, I think those are leftist talking points.
There's actually a video of her harassing David Hogg.
Yeah, but don't you think that video has been edited? Because you know how YouTube is. They'll monetize any video they don't like.
I could show you the video, babes.
I can easily find it. I don't look for political videos on YouTube anymore because they'll edit videos and they'll also censor videos.
This one don't look that edited.
Bubs, come on, Bubs. If you saw the video in its entire context before she was talking to David Hogg, maybe you would think of it a lot differently.
She's walking down the street. She sees.
Okay. That's it.
All right. No, Marjorie Taylor Greene talk.
That's it. I'm gonna grab your iPad from you.
All right.
That's it.
I love that we can't have a spirited debate, though.
No, we've had spirited debates. It's just like you keep going on and on and on. I'm just like, can we just talk about something else besides politics?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm just going to make this closing statement about Marjorie Taylor.
Can we not?
Can I just make one? How about this? Why don't you plug your ears? I'll give you till the count of 3 to plug your ears, and I'll make a statement, and then I'll tap your knee when I'm done.
Okay. Just say it. Fine. Just say it.
I am very afraid about this woman, and that in 2024, I think, as it sounds right now, Donald Trump is going to run for president, and she will be his vice presidential nominee, and that scares the shit out of me.
I don't think you should be scared of that. I don't. Would you rather have somebody fighting for your country than have someone that's an incompetent boob sitting in the White House that I don't even consider president?
She's not fighting for her country. She's fighting for her own values.
I don't think so. You're only looking at the weird stuff that she says, but you're not even looking at other things.
The Jewish conspiracy about lightning storms, you don't find that problematic?
Well, okay, there's some weird, you could say that about anybody. There's some weird people, I think, that, and I don't know if this is true either, that, about the John F. Kennedy, conspiracies about his death.
There's some weird stuff around.
That doesn't mean that just because she says weird things that she should be, you should scare her. I think you should be more scared of, Kamala Harris eventually being president because of, how horribly Biden's doing.
Here's the thing. I hate Kamala Harris, but I don't think she's a threat to our democracy.
I think she is. And by the way, we're a part of a republic, not so much a democracy.
It's a democratic republic, babes.
It's a republic nonetheless.
Democratic republic.
It's a republic.
I hate both of them. I hate Kamala Harris and I hate...
I don't think you really hate them. I think you're just scared of things that you don't know about. It's all it is. It's fear.
No, I hate both.
It's fear. I don't think you really hate them. I think your hatred is you're just saying that you hate them because you fear them. You're just scared of them because you're not willing to look at the real picture here. That's what it is.
Oh.
It's not hatred. It's just fear.
Oh.
You're lashing out at them because you are afraid.
Oh.
Am I right?
Well, I'm afraid of somebody being...
Because people are afraid of things that they don't know, right?
No, let me say this. I'm afraid of somebody being in charge of the country who clearly doesn't believe in science, like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, but...
And who says very racist things.
Yeah, but what the left is considering science and what the left thinks about racism is completely distorted.
The Jews do not cause lightning storms or fires.
I think that the left has been trying to destroy her reputation because they want someone to destroy. I'm just saying, Bubs, if you're gonna be well-rounded about who she really is, you should look at stuff that has been reported about her that is completely opposite of what you've been looking at. Because yeah, anyone can say, it doesn't matter. I mean, a leftist person can say some weird stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not going to look at them, right?
No, I will.
Okay, well, but here's the thing, though. You're just paying attention to things that she has said, but you're not paying attention to other things that she may have said that are opposite of what you're looking at. You're not looking at the real Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're not willing to look at other things.
She said that she thought Ruth Bader Ginsburg was replaced by a double before she died, and that there's somebody.
But don't you think that But don't you think that a lot of leftist people have been getting away with a lot of stuff that they've been saying that is pretty outlandish?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of craziness on the left too.
But the difference is that they're not being held accountable for it. A lot of them are not being held accountable for it. But because Marjorie Taylor Greene is a white conservative lady, then she's being held accountable. And I think there's a double standard, so you have to look at that too.
But we know that she's a racist.
She's not a racist. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hitler was right about one thing.
Bubs.
Calling somebody...
Okay, that's enough. We are not... Okay, I'm going to end this right now.
All right, no. So, that would mess. All right, Bates, that would mess.
Okay, enough.
Okay.
Enough. We've been going on around and around in circles for like 15, 20 minutes.
We know that I'm afraid of her becoming vice president.
And we know that your view is very very distorted.
Yeah, I only go off of her quotes and seeing video of her talking and seeing.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of things may have been edited, so look into that.
But you won't even let me show you a video because you're afraid of the truth. But I still
no, Bubs. I think it's leftist propaganda at its worst.
I don't know about that, babes.
Leftist propaganda, and YouTube has been censoring a lot of things, so I wouldn't put it past them anyway.
But leftist propaganda, it's not leftist propaganda that she's said very defamatory things about certain people.
I think they use what she has said and they take it out of context for whatever it is. Anything that she said, they've taken it out of context, whether weird or not. And YouTube has been censoring a lot of people anyway, so it's. YouTube is a part of big tech, so of course they're going to do that. And anything that is against their own values, they'll take it off their platform. Or they'll put stuff on platforms to completely destroy other people's character.
I think
it's character defamation.
There is instances where that happens. I don't think that's the case in this.
Yes, it is.
Particular situation.
I think it is. It's character. YouTube has been known for character assassination, and I wouldn't put it past them.
But there's so much evidence out there.
Google has been known for character assassination. Facebook also has. I mean, they're all in it together.
But there's so much evidence in this particular case.
I don't think there is. But of course, since she's a white conservative lady, it's all on her head. The leftist likes to use that as a tactic to scare people.
Well,
Okay, we're done.
They're not going after. All right, babes.
We're done. I think we've been on politics for a lot longer than we should have.
I've said my piece.
I've said my piece.
I've said my piece. Well, hopefully she never becomes vice president. I'm just saying what I believe. Now I'm saying my piece. To wrap this up, I think she's an insane...
She may not be vice president.
God, I hope not.
But you know...
What?
We need some people to hold all those other people in line, bud.
Oh, listen. There's a lot of problems with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats.
Absolutely.
Have you been paying attention to what's going on in Nevada with the Democratic Party?
What's going on? I thought we were done with this, Bubs.
Well, I was just going to badmouth the Democrats.
No, not in Nevada. No. I'm sure that it'll come up, but I don't think I've heard.
Okay, basically a bunch of progressives won elections in the Democratic and are now the higher ups of the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. So the establishment people, like the ones who supported Biden and Hillary, all resigned. And before they did, they gave themselves like huge severance packages and completely put these leftists at bad positions because now they don't have a lot of people to help them implement their policies. So there's a lot of issues with the Democratic Party, but that doesn't mean...
I would agree with you on this. When it comes to establishment people, there's really, really horrible things happening on both sides of the establishment. And I can't say enough that I don't like establishment bureaucrats. I don't like establishment. I don't like people that have been in office for 50 years and never really done anything. I just, you would agree that the establishment, I think the establishment needs an overhaul. Yeah. I think you would agree with me on that.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah. I would disagree with the people you would want to put in charge, but I would agree with you that we do need a change in the political system. Do you want me to pay Marjorie Taylor Greene a compliment?
What's that?
I believe, from seeing some of her videos, that she's probably wild in bed and a lot of fun. Now, babes, let's move on. What's that for? I just gave her a compliment.
It's an insane compliment, Bubs.
I bet she's a lot of fun in this.
Bubs.
What?
Come on.
I just won't tell her that I have any Polynesian blood.
Okay.
All right, now let's change the subject, babes. First, you need to give me a kiss.
No.
Yes. Yes, I'll tell you why.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because you're worked up for no reason, and I'm concerned about your blood pressure.
I'm worked up for no reason?
Yeah, and I'm concerned about your blood pressure.
My blood pressure is fine, thank you.
No, it's not. It went up dramatically in the last 5 minutes, so you need to give me a kiss.
It's not a good enough reason.
Babes, when you defend a Nazi, it brings up your blood pressure. Now give me a kiss.
Your version of a Nazi.
All right, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
No.
Come on.
No.
Oh, come on, give me a kiss. Babes, I need a kiss. Oh, I'm going to die. I just got the text from my doctor. Come on, give me a kiss. All right.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, see, don't you feel better?
I guess. No, it's good. It's good, Bubs.
Gee whiz.
It's good, Bubs.
I have been trying to get on this Clubhouse app for about a month now. I am good friends with somebody who keeps telling me, Rick, you got to get on Clubhouse. It's amazing. There's a lot of blind people. It's a lot of fun.
Is that platform just come out recently?
I think last year it launched.
Oh, wow.
I could have the dates a little bit wrong, but I know it's still by invite only, and it's only on iOS.
Yeah.
So anyways, he sends me this invite, and this is how I found out that it's only on Apple products. I can't sign up for it. I talked to another friend of mine who's on it, and he said, okay, I'll send you an invite through email. That way you can sign up that way. Apparently it's connected through your phone number. So you can't get an invite through email. It's only through the phone, right? Mm-hmm. But I keep thinking to myself, this app sounds like a lot of fun. Last night, I figured how to get around that and log into Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go through the specifics here.
No.
But I'm on it now. And it's a social media app that is centered around audio content. Mm-hmm. So I got really excited. I don't know if this is possible. Thank you, babes.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You can go boopy.
Well, it's a bodily function. I couldn't help that.
Okay. But I'm starting to think about different ways to use this app. And I have this idea that it might be possible to launch like a mini radio station because you can interact with people on it. They can talk to you if you allow them.
I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, to do like a hip hop show.
Yeah.
And you collaborate with people. So like one day I might do a hip hop show. The other day a friend of mine might do a sports show. Or you could have people do a Sunday show on religion. Mm-hmm. I have to work out the specifics, but I am thinking about that.
So how would you alert people to say, hey, there's some slots open for this day? Or would you like send out like a public message?
I'm pretty sure the way it works is, and I know I sound old now because I'm just new on it. Mm-hmm. People can follow you and follow the groups that you're a part of, right? Mm. So in my case, what I would want to do is start a group. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage people to follow the group, and I'd go into different rooms, talk about that group to get people excited.
Yes.
Then you can set up specific events. So, for example, I could say, okay, on Tuesday night from 7 to 9, I'm going to do a music show.
Yeah.
And then you could say on Wednesday night from 6 to 7:30, I'm going to have a show where it's just blind guys talking about their lives. Mm-hmm. Then you could also put in the description of your event, blind guys talking. Right. And if somebody searches for that term, you might come up and they could join the conversation.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Very cool.
So I don't know. I'm putting together some plans. And this morning, babes, I was looking online and I found how you can play music in Clubhouse. Wow. It requires some equipment, but it's nothing that's super pricey.
Okay.
So we'll see where this goes because I have a lot of crazy ideas. But who knows, babes?
That'd be really cool.
I was seeing that they have pre-recorded events, so maybe I'll have you record some IDs for my Clubhouse radio station.
That'd be kind of cool.
If I ever get it together.
I can record some promos. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of there's a lot of internet radio stuff that blind people are really into, or blind people that are either hosting or they're into.
I know about the ACB radio stations.
Yes. There's also the Ride Radio, which I listened to a little bit of that because somebody sent me like a show or something that this person did. There's also the Worldwide Legend Radio, which is really cool. They've got like people that host like country shows and oldie shows, and I know someone personally that is a part of that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I've wanted to do a rap show since probably high school.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I did a couple of shifts at KBPS where I did play rap music. Mm-hmm. But I think as an adult, I could do it better because I'd want to intermix music with political commentary. Mm-hmm. You know. But we'll see, babes. Mm. Yes. This could end up being nothing. This could end up being the start of something very cool.
You probably would, if it doesn't turn into a radio show, you could just probably have like maybe not a music radio show, but a radio talk show maybe?
That's a definite possibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So outside of podcasts, you could do like a
political commentary show.
Or it doesn't even have to be about politics. It could be about
Books.
strictly music or books or
Yeah.
cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking, like have someone give recipes or it could be like a mixture of a variety of stuff.
I think I would want to do like a variety show. Sometimes it would be me, or I'd have friends on to discuss certain topics. Yes.
But you would be hosting it.
Most of the time, but if I set up a group, I'm wondering if I can make it to where another friend has access to hosting. So I'm thinking specifically about the friend who got me into the app.
Okay. That might be cool.
Yes, babes.
So clubs are like kind of like if you're on Facebook and they have like Facebook groups, right?
I'm not exactly sure about that.
Not quite. Okay.
Yes. But if anybody wants to follow me, I'm at Rick Hammond on Clubhouse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Jaylo.
Very good.
Very good people.
Watch out there, Bubs.
That's right there, Jaylo.
Watch out there.
Yes. Both people who listen to this are going to hear about it, okay?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jaylo.
Yeah.
I had a very interesting ride this morning.
Did you really?
I got into the lift, and the drivers are very hit and miss. But this guy was really cool. We started talking about life. He is a theater teacher. I forgot the college, but in any event, we started talking about performance art, and he tells me that when the pandemic was going on last summer, him and his wife had these musical performances at their place in, was it Tigard or Tualatin? It was Tualatin.
Okay.
They'd only have a certain number of people, but it would be a way for performers to get out there.
Okay.
And he wants to do it again this summer.
Oh, wow.
So we exchanged emails, and I'm going to send him a couple of names with some contact information.
Oh, wow.
Probably next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Maybe you and I could work up something to where you play the flute behind my poetry.
Oh, cool.
You're like, oh, I don't know.
No. That might be fun.
Nice. I got this new piece about Marjorie Taylor Greene that I think you'd like to perform on.
No, thank you.
Okay, there, Jaylo.
I don't think we should mix politics and poetry.
We don't have to do that.
No, thank you.
It's
Bob.
okay, babes.
I think you were joking too.
Yes. How you feeling right now, babes?
I'm good. I'm bad.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I do like it when you get worked up, though.
Yes, you and other people
Oh.
who won't be mentioned. Is there anybody that has ever complained to you about our spirited discussions?
No, I mean, people will say maybe Alana should tickle you less because it gets in the way of me making my point. Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Who?
I don't want to say any names.
I don't believe that.
I might have made that up.
You made that up.
It could have been me complaining to myself.
The tickling could be the exciting part of it. I don't know.
No. I think it is distracting for people listening, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, but you do get out a lot of stuff, Bubs, even if I have done that.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it may be a little bit here, a little bit there as far as the tickling is concerned, but then you do get a lot of stuff out there.
Thank you, babes.
It's not completely like, oh, I just tickle you forever and you never get anything out. No. Not true.
Not true, Jaylo.
But no. I'm feeling very good. I got everything I needed from my order. I'm very happy. Yes.
We got to get into some snacks after this.
Oh, yes, we definitely will. We have quite a bit of choices.
Yes. But I do want to go more into the diet tip starting next week.
Okay.
To lose some weight and prep for the summer and all that stuff.
Yes.
I told you, babes, that when we saw Echo Smith...
Yeah.
Afterwards, I went online to look at the photos.
Oh, I remember that.
I did not like the way I looked. I looked a little bit too overweight.
I remember that. And I said, well, how did I look? And you replied by saying...
I don't know. You looked all right.
You said you looked fine.
Yeah, you looked fine.
Okay.
But I noticed that I could...
Were you able to see your...
lay off the pizza.
Wait, were you saying that you looked at like your... were you able to see your face, right?
Yeah, I looked a little bit too bloated in the face.
Oh, boy.
Like, oh, God, it's time. And that was a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'm sure now, after not exercising that much and eating crazy, that it's probably even worse.
Well, geez, I mean, how crazy is it? Do you, like, Like, do you like get a whole bunch of food in one sitting?
What I do is I do vodka and a bowl of ice cream for breakfast.
You don't keep vodka in your house.
I didn't before the pandemic.
Oh, jeez.
And followed by a huge chocolate cake for brunch with eggs, apple cider vinegar.
Okay, I know that's not true.
And pecans for a little bit of a snack.
Well, if you wanted to make it really, really crazy, you could add a whole pecan pie in the midst of all that.
That's my dinner.
Okay, first off, I don't believe that's your real diet.
Okay.
I do think, maybe, is it true that you eat a lot of food in one sitting, though?
I do, and I also tend to snack on things a lot throughout the day. It's way more than I did before the pandemic. I mean,
Okay.
I've always been a snacker, but now it's gotten out of control.
Yeah. I try, so I guess for me is I know that I can't handle like a lot of food in one sitting because it's just crazy. After that, I'm just like, I don't want to feel full and bloated. I do snack, but I don't think it's like terribly a lot. And I don't know, I try to be reasonably healthy. It's not always easy, but I don't know. And then I do need to get back on, I do need to get back on my trampoline because it is fun.
I agree with you, babes. It was fun doing it last weekend when I was over here.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. It is. I got to get back to getting up in the morning and jumping on it before I do anything. Just for at least, I don't know, 5 minutes or so.
It's something.
Yeah, it is something. But I kind of feel like my clothes are getting a little loose, but it's not too bad.
Oh, loose is a good thing.
Yeah, my pants anyway.
Nice.
I mean, they're not terribly loose, but I'm noticing that I still have my ghoulish figure.
Okay, I don't care if your pants fall, babes.
Of course you don't.
Yes.
I do.
Just as long as you keep your underwear clean.
I do.
Well, good. I'm happy.
Or I try anyway.
Uh-oh.
You know what I never understood? This is kind of a side note. What I don't understand is, you know how moms say if you get into an accident, make sure you have clean underwear?
My mom never said that.
I don't think my mom did, but I think I've heard it a lot. I was like, oh, make sure. I'm like, well, you have to understand, like, if you have a serious accident, they do have to cut off your clothes.
The rumor I've heard, babes, and I don't know if this is true, if you die, supposedly you shit yourself, like right there.
That makes sense.
So it's like, if I'm in a really bad accident and I'm dead, my underwear ain't going to be too clean.
Yeah, well, and then also there are times where they have to cut off clothing. And it's possible that your underwear has to come off at one point. But so I'm like, well, okay, you're not going to be thinking about clean underwear when you're in an accident.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Very good, babes.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that all your bowels and all your bodily functions kind of go out the window.
Something tells me that might just be a rumor.
Sometimes it happens, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen with me or not.
Well, it doesn't matter because you're going to be dead already.
That's white, babe. That's white.
And hopefully I'll get really, really old and just die in my sleep, and that'll be it.
Well, and hopefully right when I die, I won't do that, and you will have a couple of extra minutes alone with the corpse.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think I want... I don't know if I want to be alone with you when you go bye-bye. I
kind of do, just so you can have some last-minute fun.
Bubs, you're not going to know anyway. You're going to be dead.
Yeah, but I want you to enjoy yourself.
Bubs, why would I want to be alone for a while with a dead body?
Wait until rigor mortis sets in and then have some
okay.
enjoyment.
Okay.
What?
That's enough.
Sorry, babes.
Yeah, what? Oh, you, Willie.
No.
No, you're not.
No, babes, no. Okay. Jaylo.
Yeah?
What, if any, self-love exercises have you been doing over the last week?
My sleep has been really good lately. I've been getting back into my sleep. I've been waking up early though. Sometimes I wake up between 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. I've been reading more in the morning, so that's been really good and helping me start my day and just things like that, I guess. If you would consider that quote unquote self-love.
I would.
Yeah. I don't know.
With me, I kind of see what we do here as a form of journaling. Mm-hmm. And as a result, I've been doing less of that over the past year. But recently, the last couple of weeks, I've been journaling more, spending more time outside, even if it's with a mask.
Right.
And just enjoying life and becoming really excited about getting back out there.
Just feeling the air on your skin. And
yes.
Yeah.
Also, last night I ordered afternoon I got something from Jersey Mike's.
Oh, so good.
Yes. Oh.
Sometimes it's good to, treat yourself to those kinds of things. I think it's always good to do that.
Yeah, the only reason I would qualify that as self-love is because I was going back and forth with myself of, well, I should cook at home. I should really just make a meal. And then I thought to myself, I'm giving myself more stress about thinking about what I should do instead of just doing something.
Yeah, and, I think whatever de-stresses you, because sometimes I don't want to cook anything, or I don't want to go through the trouble of doing it, and I'll just get something that I know I'm going to like. And it's a way of de-stressing, I think. Anything that something that will give you a time to not have to think about something, to think about stuff, and just a way to enjoy yourself, whether it's eating a taco once in a while, or eating ice cream once in a while from whatever you want to order. And it's I think it's totally okay to find something that de-stresses you. Well, listening to your favorite show without thinking about anything, really.
That's right.
Yeah. I should mention that I got a little more farther into the book, and I think it sounds like I'm closer to the end.
What's been going on?
Winston has been, it's so odd. So Winston has been tortured by O'Brien, right? And he tells, there's one part of the story where they're talking to each other and talking about what is real, or, that Winston is the last man to actually be a man. And he tells him to take off his... Stop it.
What?
Stop it. You're distracting me.
Sorry.
He tells him to take off his clothes and look at himself in the mirror, and he's horrified because he's emaciated. He can clearly see his reflection, and for a while it looks like this really strange creature. And he's freaking out. And he's like, look at yourself. You're emaciated. Your hair's falling out. And it's obvious that he hasn't been fed. And he's going in and out of consciousness as he's been doing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he is, I don't remember if he was transferred to another cell or not, but he has been fed regularly. They actually were treating him nicely. So he, throughout the story, he has a varicose ulcer on his ankle. We don't know how he gets it, but they've been dressing his ulcer. They've been feeding him regularly, so he's been getting fatter. So it's kind of interesting that how Big Brother, not Big Brother, but the people in the party, more specifically O'Brien and the people in the jail, in the prison, have been tearing him down little by little, and then they eventually build him back up again. And how it's a cycle. It's a very vicious cycle. And how they're playing with his mind, and it's just a form of torture. It's just very interesting to me.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. But I think now he's waiting for someone to shoot him. So it's kind of depressing in that way.
Oh.
Just shoot me and get it over with. I want to die,
Yes.
Awful.
Before I move into what I've been reading this week.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is kind of related. In 2004, I had moved back to Portland, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, how long were you there for?
How long was I back here?
Yes.
Like 6 months.
Okay.
I came back in November of 2003.
Okay, so
And
that was after your LA.
No, this was after Hawaii, the first time.
Okay.
But anyways, in 2004, I wanted to become more politically aware because there was George W. Bush was in office. I had just finished reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. And I go looking for literature at Powell's bookstore. Mm-hmm. And I find this book, I think it was called The Most Censored Stories of 2002. Mm-hmm. And it was by Project Censored. Each year they do these types of books. And it's basically stories that were underreported of the previous year. Mm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I've been a fan of them ever since. I haven't read every book they've ever put out, but I've enjoyed their stuff. Mm-hmm. This week, I find out that they actually have a radio show that they do in partnership with Pacifica, and they release it as a podcast.
Oh, wow.
So I've been kind of enjoying that.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
Now, as far as what I've actually been reading, I haven't finished any books, but I started a book called Little Man about Meyer Lansky, which was something I wanted to read after we revisited the movie Bugsy.
Right.
To know more of the real story.
Okay.
I haven't finished the book, but it basically talked about how he was this really, really poor kid. His parents didn't have a lot of money.
Was he Jewish? I couldn't remember.
Yes.
He was Jewish, okay.
One of the stories it tells from the book is he was supposed to buy some food for his family to celebrate Shabbat, I believe.
Okay.
So his mom gives him a nickel.
Sorry, the line, someone's mowing the lawn outside.
That's okay. I don't blame you for them doing that.
No, it just is because I don't know if it's extra noise.
Oh, it'll be in here for sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes. He goes out and he sees a dice game. Meyer Lansky thinks that he can win it, puts down the nickel, and loses it. He said that his parents were understanding, but when they came back from Shabbat the next day, he could feel the tension in the room because some extra food was missing.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting story. He went around studying these dice games. It also talks about how he was really, really well read. He was part of several book clubs, and would read a lot. And it said that he would give people books, like his attorney, he would give books to.
Wow.
And I think it was either his attorney or his accountant. He gave them some book and said that this is going to be a really fun read. And the person said that it was just so boring and full of numbers that they had to give it up.
That doesn't sound like a fun read to me. It sounds like crazy mathematician stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
It talked a little bit so far about his relationship with Bugsy and how their wives were friends with each other.
Wow.
Meyer Lansky's first son had CP.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think it was an extreme form. However, back then, it was not something that was easy to adjust to in society.
Oh, right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
If you had CP, you were kind of an outcast.
Yeah.
Spoke about how he was on the road a lot and spent a lot of money. So it's interesting so far. I'm enjoying it.
Who played Meyer Lansky in the movie?
Ben Kingsley.
Oh, wow.
I believe he got an Oscar nomination for that.
Wow.
Yes.
Because it was interesting, though. He seemed very soft-spoken. And you knew he was a part of the mob. He didn't seem like, well, to me anyway, I don't know if I'm correct, but he didn't seem like he was so... I think he wanted to help Bugsy, but it seemed like to me that he didn't know what to do.
Because they were friends growing up.
Do you think that Meyer Lansky's portrayal, the portrayal of Meyer Lansky in the movie, did you think that in the movie he wasn't so far into the mob, or do you think he was very far into the mob?
No, Meyer Lansky was one of the head leaders of the mob.
Oh, wow. He didn't seem like that because he seemed very soft-spoken.
I think that's the reason he was able to rise in the ranks because of that, right?
Because his demeanor didn't seem
Yeah,
harsh.
if somebody's out there and they're brandishing weapons in public and they're talking about how, hey, I'm a mobster. Well, one, that's going to attract the cops. And two, that's going to make the people you're doing business with not want to work with you because you're too much of a liability.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. So, what else was Ben Kingsley in?
His most famous role was in Gandhi.
Okay.
Which you're not supposed to say this. I don't think that's that good of a movie.
Well, I mean, it's your opinion.
Right.
Did you see? When did you see it?
In high school.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he was also in a movie called Sexy Beast.
I think I heard of it.
He's a retired criminal who is basically forced to do a bank robbery.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, the other book I've been reading is by Jeff Chang, and it's called Can't Stop, Won't Stop. It's basically about hip-hop in the early days.
Okay.
In 2011, I read a book called The Big Payback, A History of the Business of Rap Music. Really good book. I highly recommend that one. Anyways.
Okay.
I go on Amazon to see recommendations for what I should read next, and Can't Stop, Won't Stop comes out. It comes on, right?
Yeah.
I've had many copies of this book digitally, and there's always weird issues around them, so finally I broke down and I got the Audible version of it. It starts off kind of slow, talking about these gangs in New York and all the politics behind it. But then it gets really, really interesting.
Yep.
Like, he interviews somebody for the book, I forgot who it was, and they said that they don't consider graffiti to be a hip-hop thing. That most of the people in the early days who did it, it was because of a love for, like, punk rock music. You know. And it talked about how some graffiti artists would paint subway cars in New York, and the cars would become famous. So there's this one car that, like, it's a Christmas style of painting on the subway car. And that car, because the budget was so low for the transit authority back then, they couldn't get around to cleaning them right away. Those subway cars would become well known for being like the Christmas car or this car. And it was super interesting.
Wow.
That part of the book.
Okay.
Yeah. And it talked about there's this one female graffiti artist who got into it and was because of her boyfriend, and how she just, like, nobody wanted to work with her because she was a girl.
Wow.
It talked a lot about African Bambaataa. Now, the book came out before the allegations did, right? So they don't really touch on that. But for a while, he was getting away with not telling people when he was born.
Wow.
So nobody really knew how old he was for a long, long time.
Wow.
And it talked about, there's this one documentary that sounded super interesting called 80 Blocks from Tiffany's. And it was sort of like about the scene in New York at that time. What was going on with the gangs and whatnot. And I actually found it on YouTube, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. It goes into the history of Chuck D and Public Enemy. You know, what was going on with them. Like, I knew that Chuck D was a radio DJ.
Yeah.
Before he got into rapping. Or at least successful at it. And I knew that he was close with Harry Allen, but I didn't know that they went to, I believe, high school or college together. Yeah. Super interesting book.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, you will.
Very good.
Yes. You never listened to a lot of Chuck D.
No, I'm not really, like, so deep into hip hop. I'm just not. No, I don't think I have.
I'm not a huge Public Enemy fan, but there are some songs that they do that I really enjoy, and I have a lot of respect for Chuck D. Because not only has he done Public Enemy, but he's tried to start things to where underground rappers can share their work. I don't know if it's still around, but he used to have this website called, I want to say it was rapstation.net. And it might even still be around. And it's all these different, like, underground, like, radio stations that he kind of consolidated under one roof.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes, Jay. Well,
Yes.
are you excited about the documentaries we're going to watch tonight?
I am.
So my theory, babe, is I think we should watch Life Itself and then follow it up with, what's the Motown one?
Standing in the Shadows of Motown.
Yeah. What do you think about that theory?
That might be good.
Yeah.
Hear about a movie critic's life, and then hear about the musicians who played backup for the singers. I think that would be really good. And I think you'll like Standing in the Shadows of Motown.
I'm really interested to see what you think about Life Itself. You didn't watch a lot of Siskel and Ebert growing up.
I watched a little bit, but I wasn't really into it because I wasn't like a film geek, I guess. I liked movies, but I wasn't like, I didn't want to know so much about the reviews about them.
Yeah, I think you'll get a kick out of this. It's interesting the way they have him talk, because they started interviewing Roger Ebert for the documentary about 6 months before he died.
Wow.
So he was using the Alex voice synthesizer back then.
Oh, wow.
You hear that, but you also hear somebody reading excerpts from his book, Life Itself.
Wow.
And they have old clips of him talking. So
Wow.
you're hearing his voice from like 3 different perspectives.
So how was he able to not talk again?
How did he lose his voice?
Yes.
He had cancer.
Did you say it was brain cancer or?
He had jaw cancer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I knew it was cancer, but I wasn't sure.
He had many different forms. At one point, he had thyroid cancer, and then it moved to his jaw, if I'm remembering correctly.
Wow.
The movie's good, but the book is really interesting, too.
Wow.
And I think I read the book the day it came out.
Was his wife speaking in parts of the documentary?
Oh, yeah, they interview his wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
She seems like a cool lady.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, yes, yes.
And Siskel died, right?
Oh, Gene Siskel died way before Roger Ebert did.
Okay.
He was only 53 when he passed on.
Wow.
January of 99.
Did he have cancer too?
He had brain cancer.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's awful.
They interview his widow in the documentary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And wow. So do you know if Roger Ebert lived to see his own documentary?
No, he died during the making of it.
Oh.
But he was around enough to see the starting of it.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it's the same guy who directed Hoop Dreams.
Oh, really?
Which Roger Ebert was a big champion of that movie.
That was a really interesting documentary. We enjoyed that one. And I would imagine that we're going to enjoy this one.
Yes.
Or I'm going to enjoy it.
I hope so. I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
But I also, am a big Roger Ebert person, so.
Right. But it would be good to know because I think Roger Ebert was able to interview people, even though he wasn't able to talk because he was using the synthesizer.
But you'll have to see the documentary, babes.
Yes.
I remember growing up, and I used to just think of him as this old person who is probably very boring.
Yeah.
And the documentary, along with the book, give you a much different perspective on his life.
Because you only see that one glimpse of him in Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, like I knew that he, excuse me, I obviously knew that he had written a really bad movie back in the day.
What movie was that?
I think it's, Beyond the Valley of the Shadow of the Dolls or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Or The Valley of the Shadow of the Dolls. It's a movie with Russ Meyer.
Or is it The Valley of the Dolls?
No, it's like the sequel to it. I believe it's Beyond the Valley of the Shadow of the Dolls.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought he was just this boring guy, but he's super interesting. I can't wait to show it to you.
Wow.
Yes, babes.
It's also cool that they talked to Gene Siskel's widow. I'm guessing they talk about the relationship they had together.
Yeah, and they show bloopers from the show.
Oh, it's got to be funny.
So like when they used to have to shoot promos
yes.
that they'd send out to the radio stations, it shows them arguing while shooting the promos.
It's got to be great.
Yeah.
I know I've heard clips. I remember turning to Siskel and Ebert for a little bit because I was flipping channels, and I remember hearing clips of the show where they're arguing about which movie they thought was good or which movie that they didn't think was good.
I loved their arguments as a kid. But what I really liked is when they would agree that a movie was good, but they would disagree about why it was good, and they'd argue about it.
And they were still friends after the argument.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes, sounds like you're coughing, babes.
I'm okay. It's just something in my throat. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. And my throat isn't sore. So.
Well, that's good, Jaylo.
That's good.
It feels like we've covered a lot, even though it's only 120 minutes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But we've done more than I thought we were going to get to.
I thought it was going to be over after you asked me about the self-love stuff.
Oh my goodness.
No, I did. Because you usually talk about that towards the end of an episode.
I like it when we do longer ones. I don't think this one is going to be that lengthy. But yeah. I like the longer ones just because I feel it gives people more stuff to listen to.
I do too, because we can cover a lot of ground and get to what we get to.
Yeah. But we also don't want to force it today.
No.
I feel like this is a good length for right now.
I think you're right.
Before we go, though, you had an interesting dream last night.
Very strange.
Tell me.
Okay. So, a lot of dreams I have tend to be weirder if I'm listening to something. So I was listening to this program, and they were getting some mail in from people that have been listening to the program, and somebody, and I don't remember who it was. I think in my dream this person may have been from Ethiopia or a different country, and they were talking about religious persecution, and that this person was changing their faith because I guess they used to be Muslim, and this person and another group of people are trying to figure out how to do it because they are living in a predominantly Muslim country, and if they were found out, their families would get really angry. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. And so in my dream, I was in the studio, and I was with the two hosts of the show, and they were talking about the person that was writing to them about religious persecution. And I'm sitting there in the studio, and one of the guys takes her hand, and I'll show you really quick. Yeah. Takes her hand and does this to my head and says...
Patting your head.
Right. And they say, now it's up to you, which I thought was kind of profound, because I'm thinking, what could I do? Because these people are being persecuted in their country, or they're being, or they're on the way to being persecuted. What could I do myself? So I thought it was kind of a profound dream. I never figured out the question, or answered the question, by the way. So
you still haven't fully interpreted what you're supposed to do?
No, I haven't. I mean, I don't know. So it's profound.
I don't know if it is or isn't.
Well, it seems very profound to me.
So I got the impression when we were talking earlier about this,
that
the person who was Christian wanted to convert their neighbors who were Muslim.
They wanted to pray for them, yes.
But not necessarily convert them.
Not necessarily to convert them, but to pray for them. But maybe they wanted prayer so that they could be able to share it with them, and not knowing that, you can share with people your faith, but that doesn't mean that you're going to convert them or convince them. I mean, inevitably, initially it's going to be their choice in the end. You can't really force it on them. But I'm guessing that they were, maybe not just praying for them, but also their situation.
Oh, so like if they're in any type of pain.
It's possible. I don't know for sure. So I don't know. I can't answer that because, and so I went back and listened to part of the intro, And I'm like, this is so weird. I was dreaming about this.
It was very weird for me because I'm over, you're describing the dream, and then you're just like, hold on, and you go into your bedroom for like 5 minutes.
I did, because I wanted to see if I can catch part of it. And unfortunately, I didn't catch the very beginning of it, but I got a gist. I'm like, I was actually dreaming about religious persecution.
I thought maybe you were doing some inappropriate self-love.
I was not. Why would you think that?
Because I heard this. Oh.
Okay. Would you stop it?
And I thought to myself, well, maybe I should come in and have some fun myself.
Oh, jeez.
If we're getting inappropriate.
It wasn't like that, okay?
Okay, babes, you did not moan.
No. I just said
I made that part up.
No, I did not. I said I would be right back.
Give me a kiss.
Why?
Because I want a kiss.
Okay.
Well, very good, babes.
The one thing I can say about you, Bubs, is that even sometimes when I get mad at you, I can't stay mad at you for long because you're that charming.
Thank you.
It's hard. It is.
It's almost always hard, but luckily today I can still move around.
I'm not talking
like
about.
Some days it's
I'm not talking about that.
Okay. No armpit shake. I know you like to tickle me in the pit, but not right now.
No.
I had a dream a couple
days ago.
Yes. This was before I started reading Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
Uh-huh.
And I mentioned that because I told you what they said, or gave you a rough idea of his description of Chuck D.
Mm-hmm.
And Chuck D was in my dream. But this is before I read the book.
Mm-hmm.
In the dream, my sister and I fly to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a cousin who lives there.
Yeah.
And he just bought this house. So we get up, I'm excited to hang with him, and he's very standoffish towards me. And I find out that the reason he's standoffish is because his friend is there. And his friend is Chuck D.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's because he didn't want me to bother Chuck D with a lot of questions. But I sit down and then Chuck D is to the right of me. Mm-hmm. And we start talking about life. And that's when I woke up.
Oh, that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's very weird.
Yes.
Wow.
In real life, I think if my cousin and I were hanging out with Chuck D, I don't think my cousin would try to blow me off. It was just in the dream.
No.
Yes.
Your cousin on the, was it your cousin on the Big Island?
My cousin on the Big Island.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you babes.
Okay.
I'm just getting thrown out details everywhere today, babes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
Anything else you want to say? Or should we go grab a snack?
No, I have nothing to say, but yeah, my dream was just super strange.
If you want, babes, since the dream is implying that you should do some missionary work, maybe I should loosen my belt.
Hey. This is not that kind of a show.
Okay, I was out of idea. They're not all good. They're not
the kind of show.
All right. How about this? Why don't you kiss me and we'll wrap this up and go get a snack.
Thank you.
And maybe.
No.
We won't talk about anything.
No.
All right, let's kiss.
Okay.
All right.
Enough.
Let's go have some fun.
All right.
Watch Deep Throat.
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
Maybe the Flintstones?
Well, we'll see, babes. We'll see. We'll see what happens, babes.
Okay.
I'll probably give in.
Thank you.
Yes. But we gotta watch some Deep Space Nine, too.
Okay.
Yes. All right, everybody.
Happy Friday. Even though it's not going to come out on Friday, but happy Friday.
Be glad that society is starting to reopen. And live life to your fullest, because I definitely plan to have a fun time this summer.
Same here.
Unless things just go crazy again.
And when it starts to get warmer in your part of the woods, wherever it is, make sure you get some fresh air. If you can.
Yes. And also plenty of sex.
What?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Oh,